Let's give it a whirl, see what happens.
Okay. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Kitchen. Here via Zoom. Councilman Morrow.
Here.
Councilman Decreto.
Here.
Councilman Van Fleet.
Here via Zoom.
And Supervisor Quigley.
Here in person.
Here.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the Town of Ulster Town Board meeting for Thursday, October 15th, 2020. Hopefully tonight's audio is a little bit better than it has been in the past couple of meetings. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay. I have an amendment to the DWI contract that was presented to me an hour before the meeting by Lieutenant Lamoya. It is an amendment to the 2019-2020 DWI contract. It's an increase in the revenues. I will add it to the agenda after the item that is on the agenda for the 2020-21 contract. Any public discussion of agenda items? Approval of the minutes. We've been all distributed and had an opportunity to comment on the minutes for the September 3rd workshop and the September 17th town board meeting. May I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented? So moved. Second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I guess,
Mr. Ridley, there is a delay, so I'm gonna have to wait to get your vote. Communications?
Yes.
I have
I
one.
have one email received yesterday from a Halcyon Park resident. It reads, "Hello, I am contacting you regarding the park in my neighborhood in Halcyon Park. The park was built in the early 1970s and was dedicated to a man that died in a motorcycle accident in 1976. The park has never been redone, and all that is left is rusted swings and an overgrown with weeds basketball court. My idea and proposal is to raise money from the park from park residents that are willing to donate to help make the park nice again. The money I raise will be put into redoing the park. If possible, I would like to see the town match the money that we raise to put into the park. Many other residents like to see this park nice again as well and see kids in the neighborhood have a nice and safe place to hang out and have a good time. We would like to make the baseball field nice again, put in a jungle gym for kids 0 to 8, redo the swings that are still there, and redo the basketball court. The town has done nothing for this park. We have a nice neighborhood. Kids mow the lawn there and take care of it. We would like to have signs made to say park residents only, so the park doesn't get ruined, and a camera that can record what goes on there. Thank you for your time, and please contact me. Sincerely, Ryan Good, I'm the park president."
I would ask that this matter be delegated to Chairman Secretary of the Recreation Committee for his review, to meet with the residents, to find out what it is exactly they want, prepare a plan, and hopefully we can implement something for spring 2021. Thank you. Abstract of claims.
Okay, you said there's a bit of a delay, but we had a total abstract of claims for $912,833.95, of which $319,489.07 was prepaid. $588,979.55 was bills to be paid from the abstract. The balance was a minor fund transfers. I make a motion to be accepted.
Do you have a request for a motion to accept the abstract?
Motion, second.
Any discussion on the abstract of claims? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The abstract is hereby authorized to be paid and checks distributed. Gentlemen, there are no budget modifications for this period. We will be back in the month of November for budget mods. Moving on to the first item under new business. It's a presentation of a resolution creating a road repair reserve under General Municipal Law, Section 6F for the Highway Fund. This comes to the town board at the request of Frank Petramall, Superintendent of Highways. He would like to be able to sequester monies from the blacktop line that are not spent from year to year into a reserve fund to be carried forward and used for the intended purpose in future periods. This matter will be voted on at the next meeting. The next item is a presentation and acceptance of the town clerk's monthly report for the month of September 2020. Ms. Reedy, is there anything in the report you wish to call to our attention?
Nothing notable to report.
I make a motion to accept the report. I'll second that.
Any discussion on the town clerk's monthly report? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Gentlemen, the next item is a presentation and acceptance of the supervisor's monthly report for the month of September 2020. I'm asking that this report be accepted and that the town clerk be authorized to present this to the public through the town's website. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Reedy, as the timekeeper for the standard workday resolution, could you just give us a brief explanation of the next resolution, please?
Sure. On May 21st of 2020, a resolution was passed by this town board, which included Councilman Kitchen as an elected official. The resolution established a figure used to report his, for Councilman Kitchen to New York State retirement on a monthly basis, which is done for elected officials. Our relationship and communication with New York State retirement is such that we, meaning the administrative assistant and supervisor's office and I, communicate with retirement often, and this error came through during our communications and is fixable by passing another resolution which is presented tonight, amending Councilman Kitchen's figure to be reported to retirement. This fixes that issue, and I will take the blame for that mathematical error. Actually, I'm admitting that it is true. Just a minor glitch that it is fixable by passing this resolution, which will amend his monthly reporting to New York State retirement.
May I have a motion to accept the resolution as presented?
I'll make it.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the matter? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Gentlemen, the next item on our agenda is the annual Municipal Advisor Services Agreement with USTAT Services. This has been required by a change in the federal law where advisors to municipalities are required to provide the municipalities with certain levels of disclosure. And it is a requirement of the client, being the town, to acknowledge that they have received said disclosures. So I ask for a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. A couple of years ago, our late assessor, Mr. James Maloney, undertook a fight at the state level about the dark store theory of appraisal and how it adversely impacted the tax certiorari positions that the local municipalities could take in fighting lawsuits filed against the town. The resolution presented herein tonight is a request for the New York State Association of Towns to put the matter again for the third year in a row on their legislative agenda to carry it to the New York State Legislature and advocate for its adoption. I ask for a motion to accept the resolution as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Next item on the agenda is a discussion on a recent law that was signed by Governor Cuomo on Labor Day, requiring municipalities and public employers to prepare an emergency planning document. And I will turn the meeting over to Mr. Van Cleef, who has had discussions with this and has read the materials required.
Okay. I read both the state's mandate, and I've also talked with the associations of towns, and I spoke with Mr. Tim Reichert of EPS. On Labor Day, the governor signed a bill that is requiring the towns and municipalities and all government agencies, all public employers are required to create plans to protect employees and contractors in the event of another public emergency declaration in New York State. New York State, the governor has then therefore changed New York State labor law that says 150 days from this past Labor Day, which will be this February 4th, we must submit a draft plan to all of our unions and management committees. And by April 1st, we must have a final draft that is published at the town and will be reviewable by the Labor Department. This is a bit complicated, so I discussed with Tim Reichert his ability to consult and contract with us to provide direction, and he will to create the document. So I gave you all this file that explains what they offer, what they do, and we can discuss it over the next couple of weeks. And I would hope that by our next meeting, we can agree to contract with EPS to assist us in getting this done. This is a major project.
This is sort of like the process that the town supervisor directed the town department heads to undertake in January, February, and March of this year in preparation for COVID-19, with the added requirement that it be documented. It has some bells and whistles on it that considers if we were to need emergency housing. So everyone is encouraged to take a look at the presentation and the package, and we'll take it up at the next meeting.
If I could just add that one of the more important parts of this is that on February 4th, we have to present this draft document to all of our labor organizations, any management organizations, or any contractors we might have. That's why it's a bit more complicated for our town. We are a little more diverse. So we're going to need assistance in putting this plan together. There's a major push by the state to transfer responsibility downstream to towns, schools, and municipalities. We just happen to be at the end of the stream.
Any discussion on the matter? Okay, we'll move on to old business on the agenda. The next item is a discussion on the 2021 tentative budget. Gentlemen, we published the 2021 tentative budget to the town's website. We had a discussion at the prior town board meeting, and I've taken comments and revised the budgets accordingly on comments, and have presented you with a draft preliminary budget that has the following changes to it. The general fund, the general department income increases in revenue by $80,000 based upon a recent discussion that Chief Berardi had with the Kingston Consolidated School District about the SRO position at the Miller Middle School. Has that changed at all?
Nothing new since we last spoke.
The chief was told by the administration that they would like to see the SRO back in Miller Middle School, and therefore I have replaced the revenue in the budget that was taken out when the tentative budget was first prepared. The second item is that based upon August and September's town court actual revenues, I increased A 2610 fines and forfeitures by $50,000. August 2020, we achieved 95% of the revenue that was actually booked in August of 2019, and we booked or recognized 100% of the revenue in 2020, equal to what was recognized in 2019. So the revised budget is an approximate 89% of the 2020 budgeted revenue. The A 5991 appropriated fund balance was reduced from 550,000 to 500. Police wages and benefits, based upon a current vacant detective position, has been defunded. That reduces the police department payroll and benefits by $125,000 for the one position. These changes result in a decrease of the tax levy from $270,000 to an increase of $60,000 proposed for 2021. In the highway fund, the revenue expense line item D5110.440 Blacktop has been decreased by $15,000 after a discussion with the highway superintendent. This will result in a tax levy decrease of $15,000, and that will bring the tax levy in the highway department to be a smaller number for 2021 as compared to 2020. No other changes have been made to the water, sewer, or lighting district budgets. It should be noted that those districts either had a zero increase in tax levy or negative increase in tax levy. So it is a very tight budget. And are there any other items that anyone wishes to talk about? Mr. Morrow? Mr. Van Cleve?
No. I'm set.
Okay. So with those changes, gentlemen, the next item on our agenda is a resolution approving the tentative budget's transition to the preliminary budget. I'm asking the town board to adopt the resolution as presented, which will allow the town clerk to make the preliminary budget available for public inspection.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Gentlemen, the next item on our agenda is a motion to set a public hearing on the preliminary budget for Thursday, November 5th, 2020 at 7:10 p.m. in the evening in this room.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. At the last meeting, the town board held a public hearing on the matter of issuing a special permit for a mobile home outside of a mobile home park for the location at 14 Wildwood Lane. Tonight, in your package, gentlemen, there is a resolution approving the special permit issuance for the mobile home at 14 Wildwood Lane, section block and lot 39.27-3-18, with the owner of record being Johnny Amaro. We have a motion to accept the resolution.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Gentlemen, back in 2018, I presented a proposal from the New York Power Authority to this town's board to undertake a study to convert the town's installed streetlights to an LED. This is a project that has grown over the years in expense, and at the present time, the town is not in a position to undertake the project. The New York Power Authority proposed to do the study for $9,476. But when they finished it, they sent me a bill for $19,915. How would the board like to proceed on this matter?
Were we locked in at the $9,000?
We were locked in at the base rate, and then we signed an additional agreement that was related to the capital proposed project, where the NIPO would receive a project management fee. And that is the difference. That is what's driving the cost of this initial study from the $9,000 that was originally quoted. The New York Power Authority added $10,543 to the invoice for their project management fee. Quite frankly, I don't know where we're going to get on this, except into a major argument. I would just say, let's pay it, move on, and I want to be done with that.
What about if we just pay the original portion and wait and see what they say?
I had several discussions with them where I complained about the fact that over the course of 2 years, there was never any indication that this additional fee was going to be charged. There was never any indication that fees were going to overrun what was initially quoted, and that I thought it was a very poor practice on their behalf of how they run projects. And quite frankly, if this is the way they're going to treat us on the initial study, I hate to see what's going to happen if we were to authorize them to replace the streetlights in this town for a sum approaching $300,000.
Mr. Supervisor, could we just pay them the $9,000 and have them dispute the $10,000?
Mr. Kovacs, your opinion on that? Send them the check for the $9,000, let's see what happens.
That's what I was thinking.
All those in favor of paying the original quoted price and seeing what happens?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
We do the same thing. Somebody sent us a bill like that.
Okay. We will undertake that process. Thank you. The next two items relate to the DWI crackdown enforcement agreement between the town of Ulster and the county of Ulster. First item on the agenda is in the package. It is the contract for the period of October 1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2021. I ask for authorization through a motion to have this, to allow the supervisor to sign said agreement.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the second item is the late resolution or the late motion that I brought to the table, which was amendment number 1 to the contract for 2019 through 2020. It is an increase in revenue to the town of $1,300. And I ask for a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign that agreement.
I'll make the motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
You're good. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our scheduled agenda tonight. For those of you who are here, I'll be more than happy to take public comment on any topic. that you wish to address the town board on? Regis?
Yeah, Regis Obuchowski, 170 Ledge Road, Town of Ulster. Just very briefly, I intend to offer remarks at the November 5th hearing for the budget, preliminary budget. But I think what I just heard here this evening, basically shaving $200,000, a little more than that, off the general, and the highway going flat. This is practically a flat budget, which is extremely remarkable, and so my hat is off to you for finding that money, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Ms. Murphy?
Good evening. My name is Eileen Murphy, 114 Quail Drive, Fox Run. I have questions on two items under new business. One is the dark store theory. I heard you say that Jim Maloney, who started this, submitted a change to the state legislature 3 years ago, and nothing has changed on that item. We are still in that kind of tax situation.
The State Association of Assessors and the Association of Towns were able to get the bill introduced both in the Assembly and Senate sessions, but never made it out of committee. So, I mean, it's a matter that we need to take up with our elected leaders at the Albany level to see if it gets moved forward. Basically, so you understand what the theory is, dark store is exactly what it means. An empty, dark store. They want to value an operating building as if it was empty. And there's a dramatic difference in the dollar value between an occupied and an unoccupied building on the tax roll.
And I understand those taxes are falling upon the citizens.
Any reduction in the commercial tax base automatically by the mathematics of the matter are transferred to the remaining tax base, which is predominantly the residents.
Okay. So my question is, thank you for that explanation. And my question is there anybody on the town board that is assigned to follow up on this particular item on the state agenda?
It's a matter that I took on myself by calling the Association of Towns when I received their legislative agenda package 2 weeks ago and was instructed that we were to submit a town board resolution to them again, as we have in the past. So it is on my to-do list.
Okay, thank you. And my second question is in relation to this Power Authority streetlight replacement, where you were billed $19,000 in addition to what you agreed upon.
No, it's $10,000 in addition to what we were agreed upon.
Correct. That's what I meant to say. With the total being $19,000.
Right.
Correct. So my question to that is, when that first agreement was made, was there anyone on the town board that was assigned to, double check on the assessment?
Yes, the supervisor.
Okay.
Okay, I signed the agreement and I monitored the project as it went along.
Okay. Thank you.
That concludes our scheduled agenda, but I do not want to let our police chief off without giving him the opportunity to just update the town board on the ongoing matters of the police reform.
You're so generous, Mr. Supervisor. As one of our committee members is present in the audience, last week we had dispersed our group into subcommittees. All 4 subcommittees were out working independently. Last week, myself and Councilman Van Cleek decided to bring our subcommittees back in, kind of like a regroup, kind of see where everybody was standing, share some ideas and thought processes, get an idea of where they're standing and how they're moving along, and see what type of progress they're making. I'm happy to report they're moving along well. A lot of subcommittees been working weekly, if not more, on their topics of assignment, and we'll hopefully have a good product to present to the town board by the beginning of next year, and be able to be voted on by April 1st.
Are there any resources you require from the town board to move this process along?
No, Councilman Van Cleek's been great. I've been working with some of the subcommittees, myself, as well as, some of my rank and file officers that have been assigned as liaison. So we've been doing well.
Very good. Any comments from any of the town board members? Nice job. With that, I'll ask for a motion to close the meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for observing our meeting tonight, and we will see you on the first Thursday in November, which is November 5th at 7 p.m. Thank you very much, and have a good night.
You have a phone number or the address?